back to Planet IELTS. My name is Nikhil Kapoor and I'm back with another tutorial of IELTS. In this video, we are going to discuss about IELTS writing. IELTS writing is one of the descriptive module of IELTS. I have divided this videos into 4 chapters. Chapter 1, Introduction. Chapter 2, Writing Task 1 Academic. Chapter 3, Writing Task 1 Journal. And Chapter 4, Writing Task 2. Now let's move into our first chapter, Introduction. But before that, I would request you guys to please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you will be notified with any new videos that will be posted on our channel. Now let's begin. Now let's begin with our first chapter. In this chapter, I'm going to give you details about IELTS writing. First, there are 2 tasks in IELTS writing, Task 1 and Task 2. IELTS writing is different for academic and journal. If you talk about duration, IELTS writing is for 60 minutes, similar to IELTS reading. This 60 minutes is divided into 2 parts. For Task 1, 20 minutes and for Task 2, 40 minutes. You will be given 60 minutes in total to do the whole task. It is up to you that how much time you want to spend on what task. It is the recommendation of IELTS test taker that you should spend 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2. Word count. Yes, there is a word count when you write for IELTS. For task 1, you need to write minimum 150 words. There is no maximum capping. However, it is recommended that you should not write more than 180 words. For task 2, the minimum count is 250 words. And maximum I recommend you not to write more than 280 words. If you talk about task 1, it is different for academic and journal. For academic test, there is going to be report or graph. However, for journal, there are going to be letters. If you talk about task 2 is going to have essays for both academic and journal. However, the question will be different for both the modules. Journal writing will have an easier question compared to academic writing. So these were the major 6 points that you need to know before you start your IELTS writing. Now let's move on to a second point, that is writing task 1 academic. Talking about writing task 1 academic. In writing task 1, especially for academic, we have report writing or graph writing. In this, we will be given a graph and we have to summarize that graph in a form of report. If you talk about word count, as I talked earlier, they are going to be minimum 150 words and maximum I recommend you to write 180 words. It is up to you that how much words you need to write. But it is better for you to write not very much words, because the more you write, the more will be the chances for you to do mistakes. Duration is recommended for 20 minutes. Moving on to the types of graph writing. There are 2 types, data graphs and non-data graph. Talking about data graph. Now, from its name, it is known that data graphs are those graphs in which some data is given in form of percentage, billions, trillions, dollars, rupees, tons, it can be any. And you need to summarize those data in the form of report. Now, in terms of data graph, there are going to be 4 different types of graph. Number 1, line graph. Number 2, bar graph. Number 3, pie chart. And number 4, table graph. All these graphs are different form of graphs which will represent some data. And you have to summarize these data in a form of report, as I said earlier, and you have to write that in your task 1. I will be telling you about detail of each type of graph in our further videos. Moving on to non-data graph. Non-data graph, from its name, it's commonly known that it's a graph which has no data. We have two types of non-data graph, maps and process. If I talk about map, in this you will be given a design or a figure in which you need to tell the direction and the places of different things in that map. And process, this is going to be a process of making something. It can be a natural or a man-made process, and you have to describe this process in your report. Overall, in report writing, you need to see various things. I've written few things here. Those are trends. Like what trend is going? It can be increasing, decreasing, similar trend, fluctuating trend. It can be anything. Also, you need to note down the changes. What are the changes? For example, petrol price increased or the price of petrol changed compared to the earlier year. So what is the change? Is it a very small change? Is it a big change? Fine. We also need to compare. Now you will be given different categories, different years. You need to compare those years and categories in your writing. And there is also a thing grouping. Yes, there will be a lot of data which is similar to each other. Instead of writing these data individually, it is better to group. I will talk about all these things in my future videos, so please stay tuned. Before moving further to our third chapter, which is IELTS Writing Task 1 Journal, I would like to tell you about our online classes. I am providing both personal one-on-one online classes and small group classes. There is a group starting from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. You can call on this number or WhatsApp to book your seat in this group. There are only limited seats. Also, if you want one-on-one classes, you can also call on the same number and book the class. The charges are variable, which will be told to you by our executive. Starting with our third chapter, writing task 1 for journal. As I said before, the writing task 1 is totally different for academic IELTS and in journal IELTS. In academic IELTS, there were report writing. However, in journal IELTS, we have to write letters. Now, letters have three forms: formal letters, semi-formal letters, and informal letters. It will be not mentioned that which form of letter you need to write. You need to understand the question and judge that you have to write letter in which tone. For formal letters, these are those letters which are written to anyone whom you don't know, someone at a higher authority, and you don't know anything about that person. Semi-formal letter. Now this is also written to someone at a higher authority or a person with whom you have formal relation. The only difference between semi-formal letter and formal letter is that in semi-formal letter you know the name of that person. If you talk about informal letter, these are the letters which have been written to your friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, etc. Moving on to types of letter. Now, these types of letters will be divided into further more types. Number 1, asking or giving information, suggestions or feedback. You can be asked to write about a topic where you need to give some information, seek some suggestion or give some feedback on a particular thing. Complaint letter. There can be a situation in which you have to complain to a higher authority about something. Request letter. You're requesting someone to do something for you. Applying for a job. Yes, if you want to apply for a job, you need to write a letter. Inviting someone or accepting an invite. This is usually semi-formal letter or informal letter. When you're inviting someone to your place or you are accepting someone's invite. Friends, colleague and relative. Letters written to friends, colleague and relative, form of an informal letter, where you're writing friends, colleagues and relative about different topics. So this was the end for chapter 3. Now we are going to talk about IELTS writing task 2. Before moving on to that chapter, I would request you guys to follow us on Instagram. My Instagram ID is IELTS online classes _. On Instagram, I post about latest updated IELTS question, vocabulary, template. You can ask me any question there. Chapter 4, IELTS Writing Task 2. It is the most important chapter of this video. IELTS Writing Task 2 contains essays. Please note that IELTS Writing Task 2 is same for academic and journal. But the question for academic and journal will be different. The question in the journal IELTS is going to be more easier in compared to academic IELTS. Also note that the weightage of task 2 is double the weightage of task 1. For example, if task 1 is for 3 bands, task 2 is going to be for 6 bands. Now, moving back to essay writing. There are 5 types of essay in task 2. Number 1, discussion essay, or we call it argumentative essay. In this, 2 contradictory views will be given to you, and you will be asked to discuss both these views and give your opinion in the end. I will be talking about each of this essay in detail in the further videos which will be posted on this channel. So stay tuned and subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon. You will be notified with all the videos that will be posted in future. Moving on to types of question type 2, opinion based essay. Now in this, you will be given an opinion and you will be asked to whether you agree or disagree with that opinion. Third, advantages and disadvantages essay. In this, you will be given a scenario and the IELTS will ask you about the advantages and disadvantages of that scenario. This question can be asked in 2 forms. They can directly ask you about the advantages and disadvantages. For example, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this? Or they can ask you that do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, which means that is the advantages more than the disadvantage. Moving for problematic essay. Now in this, you will be given a problem and you can be asked about the causes, effect and solution of that problem. You will be asked either causes and effects or causes and solution or effects and solution. The last type of essay is double question essay. This essay will contain 2 straight questions. It can be any questions that can be asked from you, or this essay can be mixture of these 4 essays. So this is all about types of essay. Before ending this video, I would like to tell you about the word count in IELTS Writing Task 2. The word count for IELTS Writing Task 2 is 250 words to 280 words. This I have mentioned before also. And the duration which is recommended is 40 minutes. So this was all about IELTS Writing Task 2. And with this, we'll end our video. Stay tuned for more such content. You can WhatsApp us on the given number for any queries or comment on the comment section below. Also, you can call us to join our personal online classes. We also provide notes, PDFs of the latest question on request. Please feel free to contact us. This is Nikhil Kapoor, your IELTS trainer signing off.